Hello, I'm Teresha Young, a relationship master coach, and welcome to Real-ationship Talk. Strip clubs. There's a lot of mixed feelings and opinions about strip clubs, whether it's okay to go to one or not okay to go to one if you're in a relationship. Does it constitute infidelity? Well, for this week's question, I have been asked. I recently found out that my husband went to a strip club with his mates. I have no clue what happened there. All I know is they were pretty drunk. It's been a few weeks since I found out, and I feel really hurt and betrayed by this. It's like he was getting some form of pleasure outside of our relationship. The thing is, I feel we have a solid relationship, so I don't understand why he would attend. Do I confront him on this, or do I just keep an eye on it? Well, that is a very good question, because it would seem that this situation is bothering you, because although it happened over a month ago, you said it's still on your mind, it's still going round in your head, and you said that you feel hurt and betrayed by this. So whilst people will have different opinions about strip clubs, whether it is okay to attend one or not okay to attend one, whether you're in a relationship or not, what matters is how you feel about it and why you feel that way. It is a very delicate situation, especially if you are questioning your husband's faithfulness and you can't quite understand why he would attend it, as you've said in the word. Here's the thing though, if you keep an eye on it, as you said, it may create and deepen trust issues within you, because you're constantly going to be looking for red flags and wrongdoing on his part. And this is likely to cause a great deal of unrest for you in that situation. So I would really encourage you to grab a pen, grab a piece of paper, a journal perhaps, and to ask yourself some really good, powerful questions. Because you said, should you confront him about it or just keep an eye on it? So some questions to ask yourself would be, what is stopping you from addressing this situation from him? What are the risks? What are the benefits of having that conversation? Because when you can start to write it all out, you can start to witness any fears or any doubts that may be holding you back from having that conversation. And some of the typical fears that I find when I'm working with my coaching clients is that there's a fear of loss. So what if you have a confrontation with him or conversation with your partner and he is completely defensive and calls the relationship to an end? You could be sensing a fear of the relationship coming to an end. It could be a sense of his behavior when you have a conversation with him. And I would never want to use the word confrontation, because I think confrontation has quite a harsh feel to it. I like what Lisa Nichols says, carefrontation. You treat the conversation with care. So really witness some of the fears that will come up for you, if any come up, whilst writing down the answer to that question. What are the benefits and what are the risks of having that conversation? Because as you said, you feel that you have a solid relationship with him. So if you feel that you have a solid relationship with him, there is bound to be an element of safety that you can have an open and honest conversation with him. And that will bring you peace of mind rather than harboring it and holding on to the doubts. What if he does it again? Can he be trustworthy? Why did he do it in the first place? You're only going to come up with your own answers. So why not hear it straight from him and give him the opportunity to explain what exactly happened? So here are 4 steps I would encourage you to take before you have that conversation with him, just so that you can prepare yourself for it. Because of course, this is a very delicate situation, as I said, and a very emotional situation for you. So the first step would be to completely think about the words that you want to use. Be completely factual about the information you have and be comfortable with what you want to share. Because if you have found out, I think his curiosity will be, so who told you about it? So you have to be prepared for sharing as much information as you feel comfortable with sharing about that, with no blaming, and no accusation. So a sentence such as, can you tell me about, and share the information that you have. Remember to keep it completely factual. And then open up the space for discussion. The second step would be the timing of the conversation. Ensure that you both aren't busy, you're not rushing around or tired, because you're not going to be in the mental state to have a really conducive conversation. So just ensure that you time that conversation really well when there's no distractions whatsoever. The environment as well, where you have this conversation, have it in a nice, quiet, safe place where you're not going to be interrupted, where you're not going to be disturbed, where you feel really comfortable with it. And the fourth step would be your energy. Remember, you are feeling hurt and betrayed by this. So you want to be coming with an energy that is not going to be emotionally charged, and instead come from a place of calm, reason, and understanding, so that you can actively listen and respond to what he has to say and give him the space to be able to respond. No jumping in when he's, just listen, just absolutely listen to him. Now, once you have heard his side of the story and you have clarity, you both can make a sound judgment on how best you move forward with this. And only you both can determine how best you move forward with it. It may be a case that you set some boundaries, some really healthy boundaries about what you expect from your relationship with each other, because perhaps this is something that you've never discussed before. It could be that you just have some clarity on what that means for you. And I would really encourage you to also think about some self-care tips whilst you are going into that conversation. So I've already spoke about doing a journaling to really witness how you feel about it and the risks and benefits of having this conversation. Also think about your breathing as well, because when we are emotionally charged, sometimes we can breathe really shallow and just not allow that breath, the power of the breath, to flow through you. So find a technique that can keep you calm and keep you balanced and relaxed during that conversation, that can prepare you before it and also during that conversation. And also just to remind yourself of the great person that you are, and that you actually are having the confidence to bring this up with you. Now, you may have some reservations and some doubts about whether it's the right thing to do. However, it's only going to linger and fester in you. So celebrate the fact that you are having the courage and you're being brave to have this tough conversation. And affirmations such as, I have meaningful, understanding conversations, might be something to repeat to yourself before you go into that discussion. Or, I am always speaking my truth. I really hope that that has been helpful for you. Effective communication is a huge part when it comes to relationships, and I cannot emphasize this enough to everybody that I connect with and the coaching clients that I work with. It's really important that we feel safe and empowered to be able to have meaningful conversations and communicate effectively. And if you are listening to this and thinking, do you know what, I need to spot some of the things that are happening in my relationship, but not only that, the green flags that are in a relationship, then I would love to invite you to download a copy of my 5 dating and relationship green flags for healthy love. Because there are many things, once you can identify the green flags in a relationship, you can then witness what the red flags are and think, I want more of these green flags. How can I really start to exhibit more of them and emphasize them and power up my green flags? So I will drop a link to be able to access that in the description section below, or send me a DM. And if you are thinking about anything on the topics of self-care, self-love, love, dating and relationships, feel free to visit my website. It's www.tereshayoung.com, or you can DM me across all social media platforms where you can find me as Teresha Young. Until the next video, you take great care of yourself and other people too.